Howdy folks, Hellcorrex here, and welcome to Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 49. Alright, it's cranking down. Getting close to being done with this book. Alright, today we're going to be delving into a very little known or very seldom seen mech. The Scorpion, a 55-ton mech that, well, not even I usually have much use for it. It's not great. It's not bad. It just doesn't really do the job that, I like to have my mechs do. Now let's just delve into it. All right. 55 tons. It's a 5. Well, no, wait. Not 5. It's a 690. I have 5s on my brain here because of 55, I guess. 690, no jump jets. Has 112 points of armor. Only 7 tons. So it is sitting there with very little armor on it for a 55-ton mech. And weapon-wise, it carries a PPC in the right torso and SRM-6 in the right torso with 1 ton of ammo. Yep, a little bit of silence here. What do you do with it? Well, when I do have one on the battlefield, I mostly just use it as a sniper, plain and simple. Because with the 10 heat sinks and a PPC, you fire the PPC, you don't heat up. But if you walk, you're going 1. You run, you go up 2. So your movement dictates how much heat you're going to get. Unless someone comes along like me and gives you the Bernie dance and hits you with some infernal rounds. And then you're cooking. But with a 690, this mech can displace fairly decently. But if you come up to any type of obstacles like buildings or hills or heavy woods, it slows it down. And then it just basically, like I usually do, I'll just park it someplace or slowly move it. Fire. If I can, I'll just sit in one spot and fire. Decrease my modifiers, because if I can find myself in a heavy wooded hex and I don't have to worry about moving, I'm just going to park it and fire until I have nothing to shoot at. And keep it that way. And you're probably going to have some heat because you moved into position and you can't dissipate it every turn because you're firing. Alright, that's the big problem with this mech. Now, the other problem is, if you get into close with somebody, you obviously got to shut off that PPC because you're going to have shooting modifiers as you get closer. Yeah, then you turn on the SRM-6. And yeah, that's going to do a little bit of heat, and you're not going to worry about heat at all with this thing if you're just firing the SRM. And you can possibly do up to 12 points damage, but you're basically using it as a shotgun. And that's when it comes later in the game where if you find mechs with a lot of ripped off armor, and hopefully it's not this one, because if I see a Scorpion on the battlefield, I look at it and go, oh, all I gotta do is hit it pretty good a couple times in certain spots, and the odds are it's gonna go down pretty quickly. Now, one benefit of because this is a 4-legged mech, which you don't see very many. The other one we talked about a while back was the Goliath. Go back to the Goliath video, and I talk about a little bit like sidestepping and being a stable mech. You get like a +2. It's your piloting skill, because if you get hit with this thing being 4 legs, it's fairly stable and the odds of it falling over greatly decreased. Alright, that's one benefit of it. One thing about this mech, there is no variants. 0 variants out there that are known that I know of, and at least according to the book I'm looking at right now, there might be some other ones out there, but being that it's a mech that's very seldom seen, not very popular. Like I said, how do I use this thing? I try to put it in some spot and use it as a direct fire fire support mech. 10 points here, 10 points there, you know, doing its best it can. And then if somebody gets close, then you can flip off that PPC and use the SRM. That's just how it works. Now, what do I usually do with this mech if I get my hands on it and it's part of a mercenary company? First thing I do is rip out the engine, plain and simple. I slow it down. It becomes a 585. I turn it into like all the other like the Shadowhawk, the Griffin, and the, you know, I want something that it's going to have some jump jets on it. And let's see, go back here. Yeah, Wolverine. Yep, the Wolverine's a 585 too. And I slow it down to a 585, put some jump jets on it, put a couple more heat sinks on it, so it's got 12 heat sinks, so you don't have to worry about that PPC causing any heating problems if you run. You become more mobile, jump around a little bit more, and that leaves you with the ability to put on some more weaponry. I usually will put on more armor and maybe 2 medium lasers. So you got 2 medium lasers and a SRM, 6 for in close support, and a lot more heat sinks. Not more, 2 heat sinks, 2 medium lasers, and then more armor. And you basically, you're going to be sitting around 160 points of armor. That greatly increases the armor on the legs and keeps this mech alive a lot longer, plain and simple. And then you're able to displace a lot easier, and then it starts becoming more like a Griffin, but a stable Griffin. Think about that, you know, with a little bit more closer fire support. You know, the Griffin it's mostly a fire support mech because you got the LRM and the PPC. But the Scorpion here could turn it into a brawler, a support mech brawler type thing. And I like that idea a lot better. And you can get in jumping around, get in behind people, hit them in the rear arcs and stuff like that. And that becomes a lot better mech. That's if you like to have a mercenary company, you play campaigns. That's what we usually do, is play campaigns. And if you're able to do that and you get your hands on one and you modify it, because there's going to be some engines laying around out there from some type of Wolverine, Shadowhawk, or Griffin or something, that's you can toss this and, you know, trade out the engine. Yep, slow it down a little bit. I'm willing to give up that 1 movement point for a lot more equipment and make it into a better mech. So other than that, that's pretty much everything I do with the Scorpion. And like I said, it's not a very popular mech, and the one thing I do like about it, if I can modify it, is that it is stable. And that is something that is actually pretty decent when it comes into becoming a brawler type mech. You get in this close and somebody hits you, and you're not usually going to fall over because you are stable. It's plain and simple. I don't know what you guys do with this thing. Put them in your comments down below and let me know. And hopefully we'll talk to you later, and you guys have a good one. This is Alcrex, and we'll see you in the next one.